Hey, it's your man Charlie P. And golly, look at that. Look at the entry. Look at that entry I took right there. Let me zoom in so you can see how perfect that was. Golly, that was a perfect snipe. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's been a minute. I ain't felt like recording, but I sniped this one so good I had to say something. I had to come on here and be like, look at this. First of all, let me just go ahead and take profit on this right here. So we're going to take this 23 is what we're going to do first of all. But I'm going to show you, the setup I took. It's actually a new strategy. I haven't said anything about this one before, but I'm going to lay it all out for you. So this will kind of be a hybrid, new strategy video. Okay, so as you can see, it's been a long time since I cut the video previously. It's been some hours because I was almost about to just kind of say, forget the video. I just don't feel like it right now. But yeah, it's been a long time and I got to get y'all something. But look at this. This strategy that I'm about to show you, I'm not making it an official strategy that I'm putting out. I'm letting you know what I did. And yes, this is a strategy that I use. But you won't see too many of these, and that's why I hadn't really said anything about it. I'm just not sure it's really worth mentioning, but here it is. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna post a picture of what I've been doing. If you don't follow me on Facebook, the link is in my description to my Facebook page, but I have put a few things on Facebook since the last time I posted on here that YouTube has not seen. So and this is one of them, just showing how I do, or how I recommend that you study, or that you, how I recommend that you make sure you're following rules. And essentially, you're just going to get some self-sealed lamination paper and print your rules out with some check boxes, and do not take a trade unless you can check off every single rule, like physically check it off. It's just a good way to be disciplined and make sure that you're not gambling, So anyway, this is Dos Equis, and this is actually what I just put in front of you. Dos Equis, just like the beer. Oops, I didn't drop my Jello cup. Oh, snap. Yeah, I took one of the little ones, Jello cups. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, Dos Equis like the beer. And the reason I'm saying Dos is mainly because of the two X's. The dos is two in Spanish. And so it's just helping me remember 2 consecutive candles that I need. And so here's the strategy in a nutshell. Number one, you're going to make sure that H1 is making a higher high or a lower low, specifically inside the Asian session box. Or if you don't have Asian session box, just inside the Asian session in general. So for me, that's right here. That's this box, this light colored box. Now what did I just delete? My bad. Anyway, the thing is, and I guess what you want to, and this is what I'm saying, I hadn't made an official strategy. I know what it is in my brain, but for your purposes, just know that when I say that it's making a higher high or a lower low inside the Asian session box, it needs to be like a sharp type of formation. So there shouldn't be, for example, like, let's see, I think AJ did one today. Not one of these, but like, okay, you see how there's 2 upward moves in the Asian session right here? That's what you don't want. You only want one move to where it's like a sharp hump type thing. And so right here we have 1 hump and 2 humps that happen inside the Asian session box, versus this one on EU that I took today. It's just, it goes up and down 1 time during the Asian session box. So it's kind of like a pronounced sharp hump by itself. That's what you want to look for. And it has to be a higher high or a lower low. So in this situation, it was a higher high because it's, here's a previous higher high, and then here's the new higher high. That's the first thing you want to look for. The second thing you want to look for is 2 consecutive candles that pass that higher high. So we have to draw a line at the top of the body of the higher high. And then we want 2 candles in a row. So here's my first candle that passed it. And then I need one more right after that that's going in the same direction. So that's where Dos Equis came from. 2 candles going in the same direction past that Asian session higher high or lower low. After that, you want to make sure that the Eulers Fisher is looking a certain way. And the Eulers Fisher is this green line down here. And I'll leave my template in the description so you can download the template. When you download the template, download my stuff one indicator at a time. So like the indicators and the templates, when you download the indicators, if you download all the indicators at the same time in a zip file, you're not going to get the indicators to show up on here the right way. Download them one at a time. So that's a common mistake a lot of people are making, and it's causing them to not have the right settings, or they'll be missing the indicator altogether. So just make sure you download them one at a time. But anyway, so the Eulers Fisher down here, you need to make sure that it's on the side of the 50 level that you're trading in. So in this one, so when this hump happens right here, so I got my crosshairs here. So at the top of this hump, the Eulers Fisher needs to be above the 50 because we're going to trade to the upside. And my other strategies, I usually want it on the opposite side, but on this one, we want it on the same side we're trading in. So we're trading up, so we want it above the 50. So you want to line this up and make sure this above right there. And then also the first candle that starts on your Dos Equis candles, you want Eulers Fisher to be above the 50 right there too. That's the biggest thing that'll save you with this strategy, because normally, like, I'll see this sometimes, but in like this part, the Eulers Fisher will be above, but then on that first candle on the Dos Equis candles, it'll be, down below it some kind of way. And so I stay out of the trade. And so, when I was taking L's trying to figure the strategy out, that was the thing that I was missing. Like, and I finally figured it out. Like, I see the difference now on the ones I lost versus the ones that I won. That was it. But that's really all the rules in a nutshell. So again, you want a higher high or a lower low in the Asian session, and you only want it to be one hump in that Asian session box. Then you want 2 consecutive candles to pass that right there. And it's usually going to happen, like 99% of the time, it's going to happen in the London session when those candles pass. Then you want to make sure the Eulers Fisher is on the right side of the 50 level at the top of the hump. And then also when this first candle starts. After that, all you do is go to the 15-minute chart and you wait on price to come down and grab the 50 EMA, and then you get in the trade. Simple as that. And so that's what we did. We waited on price to come down. It grabbed our 50 EMA. And if you've been following my channel for any period of time, I like to enter on the opposite side of the 50 EMA. So if I'm looking for a buy, then I want to try to get in my trade on the bottom of the 50. And the other thing I did when I was taking this trade is I lined it up. I lined it up with this wick right here, because I was like, price is even, that's under the 50 for one, but then 2, that's just another good place that I know I can probably wait. Price is going to more than likely revisit that. And so this point and then the 50 level, it just kind of lined up really good. So that's why I got in where I did. It turned out to be a sniper entry. Like, we had 0 drawdown. It was the perfect entry. And then I got out at 60 pips. I got out around right here. And mainly because of this, on my H4 chart, we had the area of resistance starting right here. And so that's why I got out right there. And so that's really all it was. So at this point, what I'll do is just to show you a couple other examples, which I don't have too many. I actually found where I wrote down when I first discovered this setup, or when I first realized, like, I've seen this before, and I started looking for them. This was back in March. So I actually found 2 of the examples from March when I was, figuring this out. Ooh, let me go to this one. Let's see. GU was one of them. So we're going to look right here in this box. So here's our Asian session hump. So we have a lower low in the Asian session. I'm going to draw a line at the bottom of that lower low. the bottom of the candle body. And then we have this red candle is one. And then this one was a red candle as well, even though it's small as crap, but it worked out. And so that was two. And then, so that was my Dos Equis. Also, my Euler's Fisher, you know, it's on the bottom side of the 50 when I line it up with the hump in the Asian session. And then when I line it up on this first red candle right here, it's still under the 50. So at that point, all I got to do, go to the 15-minute chart. We were on March 7th. Here we go. Go to the 15-minute chart and we enter above the 50 EMA. And then as you see, it dropped down. And that was, let's see, this would have been too early for me. That was like 6:30 in the morning my time. I usually don't get to the chart until 7 a.m. So I would have came in on this candle, this green one right here. And so, yeah, I probably would have came in. Actually, okay, let me just show you something else. Same way I lined it up with that wick on EU. Well, on this situation, when you've already had a touch to the 50, I kind of want to look at the top of the candle body. This is actually a recent discovery. Looking at the top of the candle body, and I know price is normally going to revisit that. And so it revisited just above the top of this candle body. That's where I would have got in. And so we're looking at, let's see, a good almost 100 pips on that trade that we could have potentially gotten. And then they gave us another opportunity here. And the same thing, like I just told you, let's say I still would have been late. But I saw it coming back up above the 50. Well, then I can line up the top of this candle body and look, we got a wick right above that candle body. So we could have got in right there. So that's a third opportunity. So you had 1, 2, 3 opportunities to jump into this trade. And let's see, here was the last example I'm going to show. Just like I said, I'm not going to make this a long video because I don't expect y'all to really, you know, use this strategy. But if you want to try it, here you go. But I'm not putting no Google slide or nothing out for it. On this one, we're going to look right here. Here's your lower low in the Asian session box. Now this one I will say is kind of questionable. This one is one that I would have taken with a lower lot size. Reason being, remember I said I only want one hump in the Asian session box. Well, here's another little hump right here. It's kind of outside the Asian session box, but it's kind of in. It's just like it's right there at the start of the box. That would have made me nervous, but everything else lined up, being that we've got this lower low. So I'm gonna draw my line at the bottom of that lower low in the Asian session box. Here's candle number 1 for the Dos Equis. Here's the candle number 2. So there's our 2 consecutive past candles. And then we check our Euler's Fisher to make sure that they're good. So right here in the Asian session box, we line that up. It's below the 50 level down here. This green line is. And then the first candle of our Dos Equis candles, that's also lined up and shows we're under here. So cool, everything is good to go. All I do at that point is go to the 15-minute chart. See, we were on March 17th. And then I will simply wait on price to come back up, grab the 50 EMA, and we enter above the 50. So we would have gotten in either, let's say we would have gotten in right here where this little wick right here barely hit the 50. I mean, at the most, we're looking at what? 6 pips of drawdown, and then you get about 50, a little bit over 50 pips on that trade if you get out the same day. Of course, you could have held that one and, you know, got some more pips out of it, but essentially you were good for 50 pips that day. So in a nutshell, that's the Dos Equis strategy that I used today to catch those pips. And, you know, it was about a 23K day. In general, as far as the account that you saw me take it on, I got the account copy into other ones as well. But yeah, I will holler at y'all on the next one. I'm not going to say when, but you know, I do want to try to start recording more often again. It's like I miss it, but then I don't. I keep telling y'all, like, I'm not that guy who's all about YouTube and being a YouTuber and I got to show you all my winning trades and like, no, I don't be caring about all that. So I'll see you when I see you.